AI isn't coming. It's here. You might not like it. The shift happens whether I make videos or not though. In every industry, you have two choices: ride the wave or get replaced by someone who does. It happened many times before. Scribes lost to printing press or typewriters lost to computers. Same story, new chapter. We 3D artists did the same. We replaced hand-drawn services, architectural illustrators, model builders, and photographers. I'm relatively young, but I'm sure people back then complain about CGI the same way some complain about AI today. My goal is simple: help you stay ahead, so you keep creative control, keep your clients, and keep getting paid. In this video, I will show you 20 practical ways to use AI in real projects with ComfyUI. Faster images, tighter control, client-safe outputs, no fluff, stuff you can run today. ComfyUI is the most powerful, node-based interface for AI image generation. And the best part is that it's free. In the last video, we showcased 10 AI tools worth knowing now. Most were paid. I know those subscriptions add up. That's why in our AI course, we go free first and control first with ComfyUI. Once you know Comfy, you don't need to subscribe to any of these tools. Let me show you how powerful Comfy really is. Text-to-image replaces the traditional reference gathering phase. You already know your project, its context, location, and purpose. Now you can explore freely without constraints. I still like to start with one initial image to guide my first prompt, but from there, it becomes much easier to experiment, changing the season, the mood, and the overall atmosphere simply by adapting the prompt. In this example, we focused on a modern villa in North America and tested some different moods and seasons. If you're thinking, pretty image but useless, stay with me and move on to the next stage. Now let's capture a viewport from 3ds Max. You can use a clay render, a sketch, a viewport screenshot, or even a collage. Everything works. The idea here is to keep full control over your camera inside your 3D software and then use a reference image to transfer mood and style back onto that viewport. This way, you're not only matching lighting but also vegetation type, season, and overall atmosphere. This approach is perfect for those who prefer more traditional workflow. But instead of browsing for stock photos, you're creating your own, perfectly aligned with the camera and composition you've already set in your 3D scene. With this workflow, we can upload one input image and quickly generate an infinite number of variations. It is super useful when you need to present mood variations to the client. Imagine how much time it took before. Now you can create 8 different images in under 2 minutes. I'm not saying these are final images. Send them to your client and let him choose the one to work on. Let me show you how easy it is to add some people to your render. Control is important. I don't like random results, so let's do it based on a reference. Here we have a custom-made workflow. We are drawing the mask to define the area that we want to change. We add a prompt coming from ChatGPT and hit run. The first image is the cropped version and the second is the stitched one. Next to it, you can see a before and after. What if the generated people have some errors? We can build a cleanup flow that detects and fixes people in your renders while keeping the rest unchanged. It works for 3D people as well as AI-generated people who always have some issues, especially with faces and hands. With 3D people workflow, you can populate your scene with 3D models that look fake and enhance them to get a photorealistic output. You can download this workflow for free on my website. The link is in the description below. We can outpaint missing areas to build a wider shot, right inside Comfy. I know you can easily do it in Photoshop, but with Comfy, you keep everything local. And after Adobe's terms and conditions backlash last year, I wouldn't trust them with my family photos, for example. I made a video about that. If you're interested, the link is in the description. The previous example had some issues. We have visible seams on the edges. It's often the case in Photoshop too. Don't worry. With this workflow, we can easily fix this by enhancing our image. Here is the before and after. Why spend days on what AI can do in minutes? In our course, we'll show you how you can integrate AI into your ArcViz workflow without trial and error. Work easier, finish faster, and produce more. Join AI course and get your time back. To those of you who say the quality of AI-generated content is not good enough for final delivery, I strongly disagree, and I think this result speaks for itself. For context, this is how AI videos looked 2 years ago. Imagine what you can do in 2 years. You can control the camera movement via prompt, so the results are not random. Some of you say that it's not usable because you cannot apply the client's comments. It has some truth to that, but I don't agree either. You can change the input image, so you can apply comments like move this to the right or change the color of this. But also, you can give your clients 2 choices: standard animation for this much, or AI generated with less control for half or a quarter of the price. And before you start complaining that you will earn less, keep in mind that you can do it in seconds instead of days. I always try to find positives. I think freelancers should be the happiest about AI revolution. Now you can compete with Hollywood studios from your laptop. So again, AI is here, and complaining won't stop it. Image to video in Comfy can be free, but you can access the best paid models via API. The cost is nothing compared to rendering 24 images on the render farm to get just 1 second of video. If you want even more control over the shot, you can animate the shot in 3ds Max, but render just the first and last frames and use AI to do the rest. This way, you have full control over the shot. I am not saying AI can do everything by typing a prompt. You need to know how and when to integrate it into your workflow for the best results. In this example, it simply replaces render farms. Also, we don't have to animate plants. Here is a comparison between AI-generated video and original renders from my animation course. Of course, if you pixel pick it, you will see the difference, but it's pretty close. I recommend taking my animation course and starting to land this kind of jobs as soon as you can, as it's easier than ever now, and you don't have to worry about their rendering, costs, and speed. This one will be quick. We can use Comfy to upscale images. It's a quick way to boost resolution without losing detail or sharpness. You can also enhance textures, background images, or some 2D assets. Imagine getting a really complicated planting reference from your client, and you cannot find specific 3D or 2D assets. This workflow will save you. With it, you change the entire planting in the image to match our reference. You have to open the image in the mask mode and paint over the area we want to change. Then, we upload the reference image, set up the prompt, and tweak some settings. Run the workflow, and after a short wait, you have the image ready. Cool, right? This is one of my favorite workflows. You can keep your render exactly as you set it up in 3D, but improve natural elements that are hard to make look photorealistic. The max output is 2K, so for high-res images, you have to work in patches. With this workflow, you don't sacrifice control. You just make the greenery look better. If the client has some comments, you can change the render and run this workflow again, or run it only at the end for final delivery. Another great use case. You can replace or add assets to your scene based on the reference image. It's the same workflow that we used to add people before, but I wanted to show you another use case. We can remove objects from an image. This can also be done quickly in Photoshop, but as I said previously, if you don't trust Adobe with your data, this is a great alternative. Here, we need to run it once more to clean up the remaining part of the shadow. This one is amazing. You can change the season in your render to create way more interesting results. Imagine doing it in 3D or in Photoshop. Time savings here are massive. Let's continue with this image, as we can save even more time. We can use Comfy to populate the interiors and bring the architecture to life. This way, you not only save time, but also save your memory, as 3D files won't be that heavy. With this workflow, we are able to create a 3D model from a single photo. Then, you can bring this model to 3ds Max and use it in your render. Even if the quality is not great, you can use AI again to enhance it. We're definitely not done yet. We can use Comfy to apply materials based on the reference image. It works really well. It's especially useful for projects that require rendering many different material options in one scene. This is a great way to quickly explore new perspectives for your project. You can start with one render and create different views. Magic, isn't it? This uses a paid model, but it costs just 3 cents per generation. Even if it's not perfect yet, you can still use it to share camera angle ideas with your client for approval, then develop the selected ones in 3D. This use case is a combination of some previous cases. When you receive the comments from the client, you can use Comfy to quickly apply them and move to your next project without even opening your 3D software. Want better results faster? We test AI tools and build ready-to-use, proven workflows. With our methods, you can slash your production time, stop wasting time, and start creating more. Enroll in AI for RVs today.